If there were a chapter in the Bible, which there's not, but if there was one called England's, I'm sure there would be names that are mentioned in there because it's a real place with real people. And from a Chuck McCombs to a man named John Rhodes, who is a principal just faithfully doing his job in England, to a guy named John Burns, who's faithfully doing his work in England. When he came to lead Youth for Christ, he was coming out of being a policeman down near London, in an area called Luton. And God called him right into this new work, and man, his yes was on the table, and he meets a bunch of crazy people from America. And man, through the years, just all these different people, faithful people, not perfect, just regular, ordinary people. And they're just footnotes all throughout the story.
Back 20 years ago, when we started this partnership, we worked with Tees Valley Youth for Christ. And it was the organization that helped us get in public schools, connect with churches, and they were on the ground even before we started. God used Youth for Christ in a mighty way. John Burns was the lead, the president, director of Youth for Christ, and that was our first way that we got to know him. We had a large event called NE1, and this event was a coordinated effort between churches in England, Youth for Christ in England, and also churches in America. And we served together in service projects all across the northeast of England. And there were over 1,000 people that gathered that week for the sake of the gospel.
One night, N.T. Wright was speaking, and he was preaching, and he was encouraging, and all of a sudden, the generator and the electricity just blew. It went out, and we're under this tent in the dark, and Dr. Wright goes, "Can you still hear me?" And this roar of the crowd just, "Yes!" And he just continued talking, and he talked about how the enemy so wanted darkness to remain, that he didn't want the light to pierce through that darkness.
UK-USA organization was actually created to help support this event, and that is the organization that we use to send our partners overseas to England on a yearly basis.
I went to England, and when I got there, I heard about this thing called Festival Teesside that they were doing, and it was this huge event that they were going to be putting on in June of that year. And so we had the entire year to prepare for it. And then we get there on the Saturday, and we just see like hordes of people coming in. We're like, what is going on? And at the end of the event, we had over 27,000 people attend, and over 1,685 people respond to the gospel. And it was just such an incredible experience to be a part of that. And really, truly, what I felt, excited for going to England was being a part of what God was doing, being a part of the revival in there, and seeing Festival Teesside almost as the fulfillment of that. It was just beautiful.
While we're on top of that hill, you can turn around and you have a 360-degree view of the whole Tees Valley. And Mike Taylor's there, and what he does is he just paints a picture of the gospel of Jesus in that area and paints a vision that those people in that area would become believers in Jesus Christ. And almost like I'm seeing light bulbs coming off in their head about, hey, I can be a part of this vision. Even on the course of the trip, more light bulbs come off. They're like, no, wait. If I can do this here, I can do this at home. And I believe that not only have salvations happened in England for the sake of this partnership, I believe salvations that have happened here in the U.S., in Richardson and Plano and Allen and Wiley, because of lessons that were learned and visions that were captured on these trips and lives that were lived differently here because what God had done in their lives. I can't help but wonder what God is going to do with folks in our church, how God is going to use us as ordinary followers and believers in Jesus Christ.
I just love thinking about the lives that have been impacted over the last 25 years, and I'm excited to one day be able to see fully the impact that the Lord chose to do, and chose to do it through ordinary people like us.